Let's find a seated position. Perhaps sitting on a blanket or a block if that feels good to you. Today we'll have a slower, grounded practice. I feel that's fitting to the winter season. So finding a way to find a comfortable seat, feeling your sit bones rooted, spine lengthening, shoulders drawing up and back and down. Slight lifting of the chin, crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. Maybe a soft gaze or closing the eyes. Perhaps the palms are down on your knees or thighs for a grounded feeling, or perhaps you want a little bit more stimulation and you can draw the palms up. I'm just starting to welcome the sounds around you. Feeling the air touching your skin. Feeling the rhythm of your breath. Noticing what thoughts or images, or sensations arrive with you onto your mat. Noting maybe what your body may need, what your spirit may need during our practice. About the feminine and masculine energy that flows through us. The feeling part, the thinking part, the being versus the doing. Some of us spend more of our life in being mode. Some of us spend more of our life in doing mode. Some of us spend more time in feeling mode, others more in thinking mode. How can we develop a relationship between these parts of ourselves? A little bit more energetic balance. Invite you into a pranayama of Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. We're going to take our right hand with the thumb and middle fingers. And I'm going to take my right thumb, I'm going to press the right nostril in. And I'm going to breathe in through my left nostril. And then I'm gonna take maybe the ring finger and close that left nostril, pause, release the right thumb, and breathe out through the right nostril. And inhale through the right nostril. Plug the right nostril. So we're retaining the breath, and then I release my left nostril and breathe out. When I'm fully empty, I inhale through my left nostril. When I get to the tip, I close that left nostril. So both nostrils are closed, and then I open the right and breathe out. And continuing for several more rounds, that inhaling through the right, Pause at the top, closing the right nostril so both nostrils are closed, retaining the breath, and then releasing the left nostril, breathing out. Inhale through the left. Plug the left. Unplug the right, breathing out through the right. Doing several more rounds. Balancing out our masculine and feminine energy. And doing one more set, making sure to do one on each side. When you're done with your set, allowing your hands to rest again. Just being with yourself as you are. And do some neck rolls, drawing the chin to the chest, stretching the back of the neck. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhaling back to center, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. And chin to chest in the exhale. Doing a couple more half neck rolls. And back to center. We're going to do some seated cat-cows. We're going to inhale, draw the chest forward. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Coming back to neutral spine. Allowing the arms to rise and just swirling the wrists around. One direction for a couple of rounds and then the other direction. Allow the arms to come out to the sides. Taking a twist to the right, left hand, right knee, right hand behind. Keeping the left hand at that right knee, inhale the right arm up and over, allowing that left shoulder to go towards that left knee, side stretch. And release that right hand, coming back to center. Inhale the arms up to shoulder height, take a twist to the left, right hand, left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, twist from that mid upper back. Inhale the left arm up and over, right shoulder towards that right knee. And release back to center. Taking a couple of body swirls, a little bit of churning. Doing a couple of rounds in one direction. And pause and switch direction. And come back to center. Reach for your strap. Change the crossing of your legs so that we have some balance. I'm gonna put the strap in my left palm, left arm up to the sky. I'm gonna bend through my left elbow so that my hand is reaching towards my back, my shoulders. My right arm's gonna go out, thumb down, bend through that right elbow, and I'm gonna walk my hand up my back, up the strap. So that left elbow is reaching up towards the sky, and my right hand is walking up the strap. And I'm gonna pull down on the strap to lift my heart up, my chest up. Perhaps feeling a little bit of a stretch. Finding some ease in the breath. And maybe I start to tilt forward, keeping my sit bones grounded, but I just start to tilt forward, keeping my strap where it is. Inhale up. And release. Right hand takes the strap. Right arm up to the sky. Left arm out. Thumb down, bend through the elbow. Bend through the right elbow. Walk the left hand up the strap as the right elbow tilts up towards the sky. I keep pulling the strap down with my left hand, lifting up the chest. And then starting to tilt forward for a forward fold with the strap engaged. Inhale, lifting up. Releasing the strap. We're gonna come onto our belly. And just maybe create a little pillow with your hands and just have your chin there, or maybe the right cheek pressing onto the hands. We're gonna do a half frog. We're gonna bend through the left knee so it comes out to the side. I'm just feeling that hip opener, that gentle hip opener. Returning to the rhythm of your breath. Feeling the belly rise and fall. Sometimes we hold these stretches for a little longer, giving our body time to settle in. your chin back to center. We're going to take our right arm out to the side. We're going to press into our left hand just to push our chest up, and we're going to take our right arm through the tunnel. So my right arm is underneath my left. I'm just taking a little bit of a twist. So you might need a blanket or a block or something to just support your head. Kind of like a twisted frog. And release it, moving that left hand back to center, just lifting up a little bit to release the arm. We're going to straighten that left leg. We're going to bend through the right knee for half frog on the other side, left cheek to the hands. Maybe more intense stretch, you can always put a blanket or block underneath that right knee. And that just makes it a little bit more intense. So you choose your level of intensity today. So these half frog poses are great for the hips. We tend to hold a lot of tension and emotions and memories in these hips. It's great to let them breathe. Noticing where the mind travels in the stillness. Using your right hand for support to just lift the chest to allow the left arm to thread through. Maybe you rest the head on your arm or a blanket or a block. Slowly starting to unravel, using that right hand to help support you again. Lengthening the right leg, coming into Sphinx pose. We bring the forearms down, the elbows are underneath the shoulders, palms are down. We're pressing into the tops of our feet so the thighs and the knees rise. Feeling the heart lifting, shoulders drawing away from the ears. The breath flowing in and out. Walking the hands underneath the chest, underneath the shoulders. Hug the elbows to your sides and just pressing with the hands, lifting the chest up and drawing it back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Next time we're gonna move up into child's pose, so pushing the arms straight, bending through the knees, push the bones back towards the heels, allow the chest and head to go towards the ground. Feel the length in the spine. Pressing into the palms, into the hands, feeling some active child's pose. And then slowly starting to rise. I'd like you to take your blocks, put them at the top of your mat, and place your palms, your hands on the blocks. Perhaps the lowest level, the middle level, or the highest level, whichever feels good to you. And we're gonna press into a down dog, keeping our hands on the blocks. We're gonna walk our feet in so that, walk it in as much as you need to get your full foot on the ground, so even your heels. And so we're just getting a hamstring stretch, and we're putting the energy into our legs so our hips go up and back. Feeling straight arms. The block just helps the floor get a little higher. I want you to walk your dog back, and knowing you may love down dog, you may not love it. Can you be with that? So I'm walking my feet back into a more traditional down dog, but I'm supported with the blocks. I'm gonna bend into my right knee, bend into my left, alternating. This is great shoulder opening too. And I want you to pause and walk your feet together. Inhale the right leg up, interrupted by the wall, but sometimes the wall is a great support. And release down. Inhale the left leg up. Trying to keep my hips level, pointing towards the ground, and release the foot down. Bend through the knees all the way down to the ground. Back to child's pose. It's not quite child's pose, it's a little bit more of a back bend. Block. You can always remove the blocks so that feels a little less intense. Then back to child's pose with the hands on the blocks. I'm going to extend my right leg back. Hips are even, so no lifting up that right hip. My right foot is back. My right heel is, I'm going to glance back to see if it's like not tilted to the side. It's just straight up and down. And then I'm going to guide my right knee forward and put my foot in between my blocks. I might have to walk it. And I might change my blocks to higher level. I want to be lifting my heart. I want to be zipping up in my pelvic floor, engaging my butt muscles so there's less pressure on the knee. I'm gonna keep my left hand down on the block, right hand to the right thigh, start to twist open from the right shoulder. And release. I'm gonna bring my right hand and block to the inside of the right foot. I'm gonna walk my right foot out to the side. Remember, if your knee is cranky at all, put a blanket underneath, and we're gonna come into lizard pose. So in lizard pose, I bring I can stay here. It's totally fine. I'm hugging my right knee into my right arm, or perhaps come down to forearms. Or Chris, can you show curling your left toes and lifting your left knee? for a different version of lizard pose, maybe more intense. Lifting that left knee. Curl your left toes. Left knee. So these are all the different options we have. And I invite you and Chris to choose the option you'd like to take. Another hip opener. And you might feel some heat, you might feel some sensation. And so much of these poses, we see the ones we love to be in and the ones we're a little cranky in. And we need both in our life. And some of you might want to lift like your big toe off the ground and like leaning into the pinky side of your foot. That's fine as well. It's just a different version of lizard pose. Some of you will want to take your right hand and press that right thigh away from you, opening through that right shoulder. And releasing. We're gonna bring the block to the outside of the right foot, walk that right foot in, and we're just gonna take a half monkey pose, or half split. We're gonna straighten the right leg and fold over the right leg. And so the beauty of the blocks is, I love how the floor is just so much higher for me. Maybe you see how tight your hamstrings are. And releasing. We're gonna bring that right knee back to child's pose. Taking that full inhale, full exhale. And starting to rise back up into that child's pose or tabletop, hands on blocks. And so you can always do this from down dog if you prefer, or rooted down in this. You start to extend the left leg. Same thing, we want the heel straight up and down. Hips pointing towards the ground like flashlights. I'm pressing into my hands so that my arms are lengthening, elbow creases facing each other, heart is lifting. And then I start to guide that left knee towards the chest and guide my foot forward. Maybe I walk it forward a bit. Maybe I change the height of my blocks. And start to lift the chest, zipping up the pelvic floor, engaging the buttock muscles. Left hand to left thigh, starting to twist open from that left shoulder. And releasing, coming into a lizard pose on this side. Block comes to the inside. We walk the left foot to the edge of the mat. Maybe the full foot is grounded. Maybe you decide to bring the forearms down to the blocks or the ground. Maybe you notice, ooh, the hip's a little tighter on this side, or ooh, there's a little bit more ease. That right knee can stay grounded, or you can curl the right toes and lift the right leg as Chris is doing. You can always tilt the foot towards that pinky side of the foot so the big toe starts to lift. Breathing into that hip. Breathing into any sensations. If there's any pain, ease out of it. If you start out with your knee elevated, maybe you're like, not today. Maybe the left hand comes to open up that left thigh a tad bit more, shoulder leaning away. Starting to release. Hands come back to the block. Starting to walk that left foot in, left block out. Into that half Hanuman or half monkey pose. We're gonna start to straighten that left leg. Walk the blocks back and fold forward. And slowly rising, drawing that left knee back. We're gonna walk the blocks back towards our heels. We're gonna take our hands to that lower back area. Draw the elbows towards each other, engaging the buttock muscles, lifting through the thighs, lifting the hips, lifting the heart. And we're doing the back bend for this camel pose from our chest, right? The chest lifts up. So it's not about going all the way back to the point where we're compromising the bottom half of the body. So I lift the chest and maybe my back wants to lean back a little bit more, but I'm still hugging my elbows towards each other. And release. Allow yourself to sit on your heels, pausing for a moment. Checking back in with your energy. We're gonna find our way back or to the top of our mat. Walking my blocks forward. Starting to come onto the right foot, lifting up, and then up to my left. And I walk forward into a forward fold. My hands on my blocks, whatever height they are, folding forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the arms up to the sky, welcoming the day. Exhale, hands at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold, swan dive, bend through the knees as the hands reach towards the ground or the blocks. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, rise. Half sun salutations. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. So hands on blocks on either side of your foot. I'm gonna go at the highest level for me for now. My body's still getting warm. I'm gonna press into my left foot. Inhale the right leg back. And then press my foot back, keeping my heel elevated into a lunge pose. So my heart's lifting, my right hip forward, my left hip back. I can always drop that right knee down if I like. Just pausing here, pressing into that right hand to left thigh, opening through that left shoulder. Bending through that left knee, engaging that right leg, right heel. Pushing away. Left forearm to left thigh. Spin the back foot. Into the side angle pose. Right arm rises up. Pressing into that right pinky side of the foot. Right arm is reaching back. Left arm is gonna lift forward. And we're gonna come up into warrior two. Both palms facing down. We're going to draw the shoulders all the way to the ear and then release them down, creating maybe a little bit more space, bending into that left knee. All the fingers engaged, straightening that left leg, reaching forward with the left arm, and then slowly lowering that left arm down for triangle pose. Maybe it's rests on a block, maybe not. Right arm reaching up, gaze towards that right thumb. Maybe a slight bend in that left knee if that feels more comfortable to you. Right hand to the right hip. Left hand to the block. Bend into that left knee. Walk that right foot in. Left hand and block, maybe 6 to 12 inches in front of that left foot. Staying right here, hand on block. Maybe you just lightly lift that right leg, and maybe you do up and down. Maybe you decide to keep that right leg straight, left leg straightening, right leg rises, opening through that right shoulder, slowly, mindfully, then slowly letting that right foot drop. Right hand to the block, left hand to block, moving it back to the left foot, spinning that right foot, planting that right foot all the way down, and we're gonna do a pyramid pose where we just, both legs are straight and we're folding over that left foot. Might seem familiar. We stretched over that left leg in monkey pose. Bend through the left knee, draw the right foot forward, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, heart center. Mountain pose, arms at your side, fingertips pointing towards the ground, heart lift, shoulders back. Grounding into the legs, grounding into the feet. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold. Hands on blocks. Pressing into that right foot. Inhale, the left leg back. Dropping that left foot down, heel lifted. Bending into the right knee, adjust the blocks as you need to, remembering the different heights. Right knee bends, left leg is engaged. You can always drop that left knee down if you prefer that. Left heel pushing away, heart's lifting. Right hand to right thigh, opening up through that right shoulder. Right forearm to right thigh. Spin the back foot so that that right heel is in line with that left arch. Left hand, left shoulder starts to open up into side angle pose. So that right forearm is lightly pressing into that right thigh, and we're really lifting the chest, lifting that left arm. Then the left arm starts to lower as the right arm reaches forward and up. We found warrior two. We'll draw the shoulders all the way up and then relax them down, finding some ease in the shape. So the right knee is bending and left pinky side of the left foot is pressing. Starting to straighten the right leg. Reaching forward with that right arm, creating that tilt in the upper body, right arm lowers. Palm facing out, Left arm up for triangle pose. Gaze can look down for a grounded feeling, to the side or up to the sky. Seeing if we can reach those fingers up like we're trying to touch the ceiling, creating a little bit more space in our side body. Opening through the left shoulder a tad bit more. Left hand comes down to our hip. Right hand comes to a block, bending through the right knee. I'm starting to walk my back foot in, walking my right block and hand forward, bending through my right knee. I start to lift my back foot, and maybe I play around in this half moon pose. Bending the knee with the grounded foot, straightening the front knee with the elevated leg. Maybe I stay. Maybe I have to walk that right block a little bit more. How do I start to open through the left shoulder, flexing the left, and see I'm a little wobbly, and how do I find my gaze, my drishti? How do I start to stabilize through my standing leg? How do I start to open through my left shoulder? Maybe the left arm rises, and I'm flexing that left foot. Slowly starting to undo. Hand to the hip, starting to drop the left foot. Turning into the ball mount of the back foot, I bring my right leg back. And I'm coming into pyramid pose. Both feet are grounded, both legs are straight, train tracks. I'm folding over that right leg. Breathing into wherever you need. Bending into the right knee, drawing that left foot forward. Forward fold, bend through the knees. Maybe we've had some tension in the body, so we're gonna kind of inhale up, let it out. Inhale up. One more. Staying in that forward fold, reaching for opposite elbows, just hanging down with the bend in the knee. Bending through the knee some more, almost like the bottom half is in a chair pose. And keeping my hands on my elbows, I'm just gonna start to lift my elbows, start to create some space between my belly and my chest and my thighs. Just hold and release. And we're gonna come down to the ground. Having our feet grounded, our knees bent. Draw the shoulders back and down as the heart lifts. We're gonna come into boat pose, using some of our core muscles. So let's just stay here first for a second to just enjoy this shape, or whatever the shape is to you. So options with boat pose, you can have your hands by your hips for support. You can have the hands on blocks. And we're always keeping the chest lifted. And you can walk the heels in, the toes in, and you might start with just alternating, lifting a leg, keeping the knees bent. You might want to have the hands behind the thighs as you lift one up and another up, flexing. feet or pointing. You might experiment with no hands, or you might start to lengthen the legs. Right, so you choose what works for you. Some shaking is not unheard of, quite common actually. Right, and remember all the options we had. And release. Let's lengthen the legs. Let's shake them out. I'm just gonna turn, Chris will stay where he's at. We're gonna come into cow face pose. My right leg is gonna cross over the left. So for me, whenever I do that, my right hip lifts. So I'm gonna put a block underneath that right hip that grounds me a bit more. And then if that's still not good, just having that crisscross applesauce. We're gonna take that strap once again to my left arm, bend through. If you don't need a strap because your fingers reach each other, that's great too. Right arm reaches out, thumb down, bend through. Walk the hands up the strap, left elbow still up to the sky. And we start to fold forward. Finding some ease in the breath. Slowly rising up. I'm going to remove that block that I had. I'm going to take that right leg and knee. I'm going to turn it out to the side. So my right thigh is close to my left foot. And then I'm going to start to twist the upper body towards the left for a twist. I'm going to put my hands down so I can stay here, or perhaps I walk my hands forward and I drop down into my forearms. Slowly starting to rise. We'll do the other side. So the left leg is going to cross over the right. Might feel a little different, or you need a block or blanket underneath that left hip for grounding. Take that strap into the right arm up to the sky. Bend through that right elbow, left arm out, thumb down, bend through that left elbow. Maybe the back of the hand is walking up the back. Maybe the fingers connect, maybe not. Or again, pulling that strap down so the heart lifts a bit more. And then we inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise. Moving the strap, moving anything supporting your left hip. Start to move that left leg behind you. Left thigh close to that right sole of the foot. Inhale, the lengthening of the spine. Exhale, twist. Hands come down, and that might be enough. Maybe hands are on a block or two. Then maybe instead of keeping your arms straight, maybe you bend through the elbows, forearms come down. Right. The other option, right, is that block there. Just makes the floor a little higher. 2 full inhales, 2 rounds of breath. Slowly starting to unravel. And we're gonna proceed to come onto our back, bringing a block underneath our tush for a supported bridge pose. Remember, it could be in the lowest level, middle level. Just allowing yourself this rest. And stay here for a few rounds of breath, and then you're welcome to move into Shavasana. Knowing here you can move into waterfall before Shavasana, where you lift one leg up and the other leg up, flexing the feet. A variation of legs up the wall. Which can be a great pose to do if you're having any problems with sleep. Legs up the wall is great for calming our nervous system. Slowly releasing the legs if they were elevated. Feeling free to stay here in the supported bridge for a while longer, or perhaps removing the block and beginning to straighten the leg. Feeling free to put a blanket in that lower back or Tootsie roll underneath the knees. So this is my Tootsie roll. I roll the blanket, put it underneath my knees, and that creates less tweaking in my lower back. And it's easier then to rest. Inviting you to scan the body for any lingering tension. Breathing into those spaces that may need some extra love, nurturing. Giving your system permission to rest. Absorb the benefits of your practice. To connect to the grace and ease and wisdom that already lies within you. Sensing your breath. Sensing the energy in the body. Some say Shavasana is corpse pose, symbolizing a death. Death of what was, part of ourselves, some of our attachments. The shedding of what no longer serves us as we begin to awaken. How do you want to awaken to your life? What is the attitude you want to bring to your circumstance? How can you balance your energy? Masculine and feminine energy, the being and the doing, the thinking and the feeling. How do we experience the world differently when we feel grounded versus when we feel off balance? Bringing gentle movement back into the body. Maybe stretching the arms overhead. Full body stretch. Bringing the knees into the chest. Giving yourself a little hug. Rolling onto your side. Maybe using the hand or palm to push your way up to a seated position. Once again, feeling the sit bones grounded, the lengthening of the spine, the shoulders drawing back as the heart lifts. Crown of the head towards the sky as the chin lifts and the palms come together at heart center for Anjali Mudra. Take a moment in this sacred pause before we transition to the next thing. To welcome in maybe a little bit of santosha, contentment. And well wishes to all beings everywhere. May they be healthy. May they have a sense of ease. May they have not only enough to survive, but enough to thrive. May you all sprinkle kindness wherever you may travel. The light in me honors the light in you. And when we are both in that place, we are one. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today.